I want to thank all of you for taking time out of your schedules to come to open this new arterial for the city of Spokane. We've made our program very short today because we wanted to keep your schedules for all of you. And so we just have two short speeches and then a longer speech before we cut the ribbon today. Mine's one of the short speeches. When you leave today, you will be the first to drive on this new significant arterial for the city of Spokane in our region. Our employees, contractors, and professionals have been working very hard to complete the arterial, and we are able to open it today. We still have some finishing touches that will be completed over the next few weeks, including beautiful landscaping with ponderosa pine, right, Waldo, right, Amber? And some other work. A reasonable question some of you may have is, what is the big deal about opening up this new street? To start to answer that question, I would ask you to consider looking at the bottom of page 8 of your program. Everyone should have a program on their table. So on page 8 there, you should see a picture of a locked gate. And that locked gate was in place for many, many years. And the railroad over the top of that gate claimed that this was a private bridge, and they told the city of Spokane that it would cost $2 million in upgrades for that bridge to be a public bridge. At one point, Spokane City Administrator Teresa Sanders famously suggested that she could use bolt cutters herself to get the gate open. I always wanted to take a picture of that. I never got that chance. In the end, with the help of a great attorney in Washington, D.C., we proved that this has been a public bridge since 1889, when the county commissioners dedicated that roadway to the railroad, and the city paid the Union Pacific Railroad nothing. This entire project was built by our company at no cost to the taxpayer and with no payment to the railroad. There is much more on this. There is much more on this roadway to talk about, and I am going to leave that to Mayor Condon's speech. I would ask you to consider looking at the back side of your program, page 12. We have been assisted by outstanding commercial realtors, outstanding contractors, professionals, organizations in building this road. And I particularly want to recognize that we've been assisted by outstanding individuals at the city of Spokane. It's not easy to work in city government, and city officials, city employees went over and beyond on this difficult project to help us. So I'd like to give all of the people that worked on this project a big hand. Also with us today at lunch, there are over 200 employees that I am fortunate to work with from our SCAFCO manufacturing plants in Spokane, our CWalla distribution group in Spokane, and our Playfair and LB Stone property groups. I feel thankful to work with you, and I thank you for your good work. I wish to thank the City Council and the Mayor for having the trust in Playfair to allow this project and our industrial park to proceed. And I would like to thank the same City Council and the Mayor, along with the Washington State Department of Transportation, for saving the Altamont interchange. Just 3 years ago, the Altamont interchange was slated to be eliminated as part of the new North-South Freeway. Now it is completely back as a four-way interchange now. And on behalf of the East Central neighborhood, I am profoundly thankful. Finally, I wish to thank Council President Ben Stuckart, Council Member Waldruff, the entire City Council and Mayor Condon for their dedication to one of the most needy parts of our city, the East Central neighborhood. Although the city had no economic investment in this new arterial, our investment in this roadway connects to the great investments that the city is making to revitalize this very historical and economically needy part of our city. Once again, thank you all for being here today for this event. The next speaker I'd like to introduce is a person that has put their heart and soul into the East Central neighborhood. He is a successful businessman as the co-owner of the Tin Roof furniture store, and also he is affectionately known by many of us as the mayor of Sprague Avenue. I'd like to introduce Jim Hanley.
When Larry asked me if I would speak, I assumed that we were going to have, 2 or 3 tables. He said it'd just be a small event. Yeah, this is small, all right, maybe in the way he looks at things. The opening of Altamont to Ferry Link is another significant improvement for the East Central neighborhood. I remember following Altamont under the Upre Bridge on my way to pick up parts from suppliers that were located just over here on Ferry. And this was my personal shortcut to save, maybe 30 seconds. Then Playfair disappeared, and this area turned into a huge weed patch. And for those of us that have been around, think back to the different uses that were put forth on this property. A sewage plant, an athletic center, huge SCO tanks, a homeless camp. Mayor West at that time saved this area for future expansion by buying Playfair. His decision gave the community time to figure out what we should do with the 64 acres and find a way to make that change. When SCAFCO first approached ESBA, the East Spokane Business Association, which I'm associated with a vision of this commerce park, we were beyond ecstatic. Here we are with the Playfair Commercial Park and all it has brought to our community. Now with this connectivity improvement, an historic road will be open again. And that's important by what he just said, that there was a time when we weren't sure that we were going to get the road. East Central connectivity is just a significant jump and growth potential for this neighborhood to move forward. This upgraded road makes it easier for workers and commerce to move through East Central. Taking you back just a little bit, in 2001, the city and East Central residents worked on a master plan to make this road a walking and bicycling path. It was designed to bring people into the East Central commercial area and connect up to some of the trails onto the north. Now, after 15 years, this improvement makes that goal a reality. The additional jobs created not only in the Playfair Commercial Park, but throughout the Spokane's East Industrial area is helping make Spokane prosper. Thanks to all those involved in making this happen. Teresa Sanders is here, and she was a big part of getting this thing to go, because it originally was sold and then fell apart. The sale didn't make it, and then she got involved and made it go again, and kind of started and stopped and started. Well, you've really got things going on the right track here, Teresa, and thank you so much. The Playfair Commerce Park exists because of the efforts of a lot of very dedicated people, and their proximity to this neighborhood has brought other businesses in. Able Label, DeVries Moving and Storage, Benedito's Pizza, all of these have moved to East Central. Plus, at this time, big projects are currently happening in East Central, including the bridge from East Central to the River Point campus, a Vista's new office project, the Sprague Union District with the amazing Sprague revitalization of which we are a happy participant, McKinley Schools project, the Martin Luther King Way, SCO infrastructure improvements ensuring a cleaner river, new apartments, and office buildings. And these are all going on right now. These are not potentials. These are happening. New business, new jobs, and revival in housing, the improvements on Sprague, plus less traffic congestion. A new and very positive attitude pervades East Central. Thanks, Playfair Commercial Park, for being such an important contributor to our East Central community. And next is the mayor somewhere. Okay.
So Jim Henley makes a good point. Next is the mayor. Without good direction of city staff, the city staff made this happen, but without good direction for the city staff, I think I did something. Did I do something wrong? There. Without good direction for the city staff, this would never have happened. And the mayor is our mayor and did a good job with the city staff. So I'd like to introduce Mayor David Condon.
Well, you can see what mayor has the authority around here, Jim, but I do want to recognize Mayor Sherry Barnard, who's joining us. Thank you. And there's a few more of those deputies, a few more of those mayors out there. I did see Terry Numbers and his wife, of course, Bev. And if I could, just for a moment, everybody that has served, and I haven't been in a place where there is more people involved in our community. I mean, I look around this room, or this tent, those of you involved in the business associations, those of you involved in the neighborhood associations, those of you involved in the non-governmental organizations. I mean, this is truly a celebration of those of you that are such a huge part of making Spokane what it is. And if you've been involved in any of those organizations that do that work of community building, could you raise your hand? There's a lot more of you out there. I see you. And it's just amazing to have you here today, and I just want to thank the SCAFCO and the Playfair Commerce Park for taking a moment to celebrate this new arterial opening. Yes, a big deal, a lot of work into it, but I would suggest, as I was seeing a briefing this morning on our monthly financial outlook, is early numbers showing largest construction year in city government history, and we are on track to have the largest construction year of private construction in city history. And I think you're exactly right. And people that came long before those of us that are in office today had a lot of that vision. Jim touched a little bit about that. But before closing in 2000, Playfair Racecourse entertained fans throughout the inland Northwest. Now I think we call ourselves the Intermountain Northwest. But today, Playfair Commerce Park employs numerous Spokane citizens, providing 400 family wage jobs in manufacturing and industrial occupations. And those of you involved in economic development know that these family wage jobs derive the wealth that allows the retail sectors right here on the East Sprague to really thrive. So that those that are making those dollars can go out and buy things and entertain and go to the restaurants. And that's why these jobs are great for residents, not only throughout the region, but definitely here in the East Central neighborhood and throughout our city. You know, growing jobs is a critical piece of the mayor's and the city council's strategic vision of being the fastest growing job market in the Intermountain Northwest. And this is one of those examples that really is leveraging the urban advantage of these sorts of jobs inside a urban center with urban features to include a street like we're opening today that really has the features of a city, really has the features of an urban environment and connected to that environment. But during these last 4 years, businesses at the industrial park have generated over $40 million in property tax valuation right here in our city. So congratulations to all of the tenants and the employees and those that are here in the Commerce Park. I imagined a number of you this number will only increase as we see the building behind us and the Commerce Park continues to grow. Today we're all gathered here, like we said, to celebrate this new arterial that both citizens and local businesses here at Playfair will be able to utilize, and that is what is another critical issue. While the majority of the traffic accessing this arterial will be unrelated to the Playfair Commerce Park, they will still raise the funds for the streets and for all the improvements. A privately funded street is, and I will say this again, is extremely rare for the oldest parts of the city. And I have to say, I think they did a great job building this new street. Playfair Commerce Park is a great location close to the East Central Business District and to downtown Spokane. In addition, they have two railroad companies operating right here in the vicinity. You've seen the trains go past us. They, of course, especially with the continuation of the Altamont on and off ramps, be connected to one of the largest infrastructure investments in this region that they have seen in decades. Their location is extremely convenient for businesses located here at the Commerce Park. The great news about this arterial is that the grade separated from the Union Pacific Railroad that we see right here means drivers are not subject to the rail blockage. And of course now with the new feature of the height the height annunciator there really reduce and make it much safer. This will also be a great alternative for the Freya Street that is congested at times during rush hour. In addition, this arterial will be used as a route for emergency vehicles when necessary. Along the new street, the collision avoidance system was installed, and also the system was paid for completely, you've heard this before, by Playfair with private funds and is the first proximity switch system located in Spokane County. So as we see often, some of the underpasses with trucks that have gone under them, we would hope to see this type of technology be used in more locations throughout the city. The new collision avoidance system warns vehicles that are over the height limit for the bridge. The system warns the vehicles far in advance to reduce their chances of hitting the bridge. The Playfair Commerce Park has been a great for this Spokane community in creating 400 family living wage jobs. We are so excited here to be today to celebrate, yes, this opening, but really it is a celebration of a culmination and of work that Larry talked about by so many that are working outside the box, really reinventing and really looking at innovation. And I do want to thank you to the city staff that is here of really pressing the envelope of looking at the strategic vision of our city with the city council and the mayor about where we're going to be the fastest growing job market in the Intermountain Northwest. So thank you, and a great celebration as we today cut the ribbon on what I expect to be a great future here in East Spokane. Thank you. 1, 2, 3. Woo! Congratulations, Playfair Commerce Park.